And we're back live. We're not on the porch because it's been hot and I want to be cool, but we're in front of the bookshelf. So let's read. We're on Canto 19. I was talking to my dad today about how difficult this story, this book, this novel is. He said he didn't love it either. So, and he even asked, why do we teach it? You guys may be asking yourselves that, but I'd love some of you to come back and tell me you've really enjoyed it and what it is you've really enjoyed and why you think it's necessary. I do get the opus, the idea of the total works that we need to have as college bound intelligent people. We need to understand the Reformation and we need to know the Enlightenment. We need to understand how far philosophy has come and the influence of the Italians on everything, the Renaissance, and to know these classical situations. But in 2025, if you don't know all those things, it's a really difficult read. So having said that, let's do all the summary work and get the prep work in there and see if we can better enjoy this. So Dante and Virgil walk to the third trench of Malebolge, and what they see is strange and horrifying. Along the rocky floor are holes shaped like the mouths of baptismal fonts. Baptismal fonts are they're like little bird baths. I hate to say it that way, but they're usually made of stone or marble or concrete in the churches, and they have the holy water in it, and it's where you put the baby when you baptize the baby. And for those of you that are not Christian, this baptism is a belief in Christianity that defines you as a Christian. It's a little like in Muslim tradition, the father sings the azan in the ear of the newborn baby. It's kind of that protection over the baby. So if something, God forbid, happens, they've been given to God, so to speak. So these holes in the floor are like the mouths of baptismal fonts. From each hole, the legs of a sinner stick up. It's so creative what he did with these different levels. The rest of their body jammed headfirst into the earth. Flames flicker and burn the soles of their feet, making them writhe in agony. Virgil explains these are the Simoniacs. Simoniacs are priests, popes, churchmen who sold holy offices or favors for gold. So they said, oh, you want to be forgiven or you want a blessing? Give me this money and you'll be forgiven. You'll get your blessing. And that's called simony, that act. And the people that practice that act are Simoniacs. They turn sacred things into profit. So now they are planted upside down, a mockery of baptism, their feet scorched in hellfire. One sinner twists in pain and calls out, mistaking Dante for Pope Boniface VIII, one of the popes of history, who had not yet died. Dante soon realizes this is Pope Nicholas III, who predicts that Boniface will join them, and later Pope Clement V after him. Now, I remember all those from teaching history. At this moment, I can't recall exactly what they brought to the Catholic Church and to history, but these are names you'll study in European history. Their torments stack one atop the other as each new corrupt pope falls headfirst into the hole, forcing the older ones deeper still. Dante, horrified, rails against their greed, argues against, like talks loudly and animatedly against their greed. He cries out against the corruption of the church, denouncing how sacred power has been prostituted for wealth and land. His words burn hotter than the flames licking their feet. The canto ends with Dante and Virgil moving on, leaving behind this grotesque parody of baptism, where holy men are punished for making a market of the sacred. And in Christianity, we have the story of the anger of Jesus when he came into the temple and he saw the money lenders selling goods at the table, and he turned their tables over and crashed everything. And, he said, God's house, my Father's house is not a place for business. It's a place for worship. That is a really bad, like interpretation. That's not what the scripture says. I did not quote that correctly. So don't hold me to that. All right. Some important words. Simony we talked about. Mock baptism. Anything that's mock, M-O-C-K, is fake. The sinners are placed headfirst into baptismal holes, symbolizing how they inverted the purpose of the church. Good symbolism if your teacher's looking for that. Historical figures, we've referenced Pope Nicholas III. He's from the Orsini family. He was accused of nepotism, which is giving favors to family, and greed. Boniface VIII, a powerful pope, often criticized by Dante, still alive when the Commedia dell'arte is set, which is this whole collection of the Inferno. Clement V, future pope, deeply corrupt, moved papal seat to Avignon. Oh, he's the Babylonian captivity. That's what I remember about him. It's the splitting of the church. Some other words, Simoniac is there. We talked about that. Someone who's guilty of buying and selling sacred things. A font, that's the little pool, the little basin for baptismal water. Apostolic, anything that relates to the apostles or the pope. Extorted, that's a modern day word. To obtain by force or corruption. You tell somebody, if you don't give me your lunch money, I'm going to beat you up. I mean, that's extortion. Writhe, to twist and squirm in pain if you're hurting. Oh. You know, when you go to get a shot, you're nervous. Avarice, that's the greed for wealth. You just have this huge desire at any cost to get money. Profaned, treated something sacred with irreverence. So anybody, like burning of the flag is kind of considered profanity, but usually profanity has to do with religion. And I know, like in Islam, you don't want to reproduce a picture of any of the prophets, peace be upon them, because they see that as profanity, like disrespect. Usurp is to take something that's not yours and to grab it wrongfully. You can usurp a government, you can usurp authority. And then prostitute is the verb. To prostitute yourself is to sell yourself for, on some ethical level, for personal gain. All right, so that's our summary. Let's see if we can get anything out of this story when we actually read it. This is Canto 19. Remember, I'm reading out of Project Gutenberg, so it's a PDF that you can just Google search Project Gutenberg, Canto, I'm not in Inferno or Dante's Inferno, and then put your Canto in, it'll take you right to it. And it's got all kinds of great footnotes that are really helpful, although this passage doesn't have a lot. O Simon Magus, O forlorn disciples, ye who the things of God, which ought to be the brides of holiness, rapaciously for silver or for gold do prostitute, now it behooves for you the trumpet sound, because in this third Bolgia ye abide. Here you are, you corrupt people, you've sold your souls, all things holy, just for the wealth. We had already on the following tomb ascended to that portion of the crag, like opening, which o'er the middle of the moat hangs plumb, like balanced. Wisdom supreme, oh, how great art thou showest in heaven, in earth, and in the evil world, and with what justice doeth thy power distribute. I saw upon the sides and on the bottom the livid stone with perforations filled, all of one size, and every one was round. So he's talking about these baptismal fonts. To me, less ample seem they not, nor greater than those that in my beautiful St. John are fashioned for the place of the baptizers, and one of which not many years ago I broke for someone who was drowning in it. Be this a seal all men to undeceive. Out of the mouth of each one there protruded the feet of a transgressor, and the legs up to the calf, the rest within remained. It's his imagination just amazes me. In all of them, the souls were both on fire, wherefore the joints so violently quivered, they would have snapped asunder withs and bands. Even as the flame of unctuous things is wont, it's a verb is to be, kind of, to move upon the outer surface only, so likewise was it there from heel to point. Master, who is that one who writhes himself more than his other comrades quivering? I said, and whom a redder flame is sucking. So they're eating this fire. And he to me, if thou wilt have me bear thee down there along that bank which lowest lies, from him thou'lt know his errors and himself. And I, what pleases thee to me is pleasing. For thou art my Lord, and knowest that I depart not from thy desire, and knowest what is not spoken. Straightway upon the fourth dike we arrived. We turned, and on the left-hand side descended down to the bottom, full of holes and narrow. And the good master, yet from off his haunch, like squatting, deposed me not, till the hole he brought me of him who so lamented with his shanks. Whoever thou art, that standest upside down, O doleful soul, implanted like a stake, not a steak you eat, but a stake you drive into the ground, like when you have a tent and you're trying to hammer the stake into the ground to hold the tent up so it doesn't blow away. That kind of a stake. To say, began I, if thou canst, speak out. If you can, talk. I stood even as the friar who is confessing the false assassin, who, when he is fixed, recalls him so that death may be delayed. And he cried out, Dost thou stand there already? Dost thou stand there already, Boniface? By many years the record lied to me. Art thou so early satiate with that? Well, satisfied. Satiate is satisfied. For which thou didst not fear to take by fraud the beautiful lady and then work her woe. Such I became as people who are stand, not comprehending what is answered them, as if bemocked, and know not how to answer. Then said Virgilius, say to him straightway, I am not he. I am not he, thou thinkest. And I replied, as was imposed on me. Whereat the spirit writhed with both his feet, then sighing with a voice of lamentation. There's that voice of lamentation. That word keeps coming up in this story again and again, to lent the crying out of sadness. Said to me, then what wantest thou of me? If who I am thou carest so much to know that thou on that account hast crossed the bank, know that I vested was with the great mantle, and truly was I son the she-bear, so eager to advance the cubs that wealth above and here myself I pocketed. Beneath my head the others are dragged down who have preceded me in simony, flattened along the fissure like the crack of the rock. Below there I shall likewise fall, whenever that one shall come who I believe thou wast, what time the sudden question I proposed. But longer I my feet already toast, and here have been in this way upside down, than he will planted stay with reddened feet. For after him shall come a fouler deed, for towards the west a pastor without law, such as befits to cover him and me. New Jason will he be, of whom we read in Maccabees, which is a book of the Catholic canon. It's not a book in the Protestant Bible. And as his king was pliant, so he who governs France shall be to this one. I do not know if I were here too bold, that him I answered only in this meter. I pray thee tell me now how great a treasure our Lord demanded of St. Peter first, before he put the keys into his keeping. Truly he nothing asked but follow me. Nor Peter nor the rest asked of Matthias silver or gold, when he by lot was chosen unto the place the guilty soul had lost. So they're comparing to the early disciples, the early apostles. They didn't have to trade money. They didn't have to be bribed. Peter was called and Jesus said, follow me. And he did. Jesus didn't say, if you follow me, I'll give you money. He did say, if you follow me, I'll make you fishers of men. Therefore, stay here, for thou art justly punished, and keep safeguard o'er the ill-gotten money, which caused thee, ill-gotten means you cheated to get it, which caused thee to be valiant against Charles. And were it not that still forbids it me the reverence for the king's superlative, thou hadst in keeping in the gladsome life. I would make use of words more grievous still, because your avarice afflicts the world. That was one of our vocabulary words, avarice, trampling the good and lifting the depraved. The evangelist you pastors had in mind when she who sitteth upon many waters to fornicate with kings by him was seen. The same who with the 7 heads was born, and power and strength from the 10 horns received, so long as virtue to her spouse was pleasing. Ye have made yourselves a god of silver and gold, and from the idolater how differ ye, save that he one and ye 100 worship. He worships one and you worship hundreds. And remember, save means accept. Ah, Constantine, of how much ill was mother not thy conversion, but that marriage dower which the first wealthy father took from thee. And while I sang to him such notes as these, either that anger or that conscience stung him, and he struggled violently with both his feet. I think in sooth that it my leader pleased, with some contended lip he listened ever unto the sound of the true words expressed. Therefore, with both his arms he took me up, and when he had me all upon his breast, remounted by the way where he descended. Nor did he tire to have me clasped to him, but bore me to the summit of the arch, which from the 4th dyke to the 5th is passage. There tenderly he laid his burden down, tenderly on the crag, uneven and steep, that would have been hard passage for the goats. Thence was unveiled to me another valley. That's going into Canto 20 next. So we're going to get there. Let me see how many cantos there are. I've seen this 100 times, but I forget. I'm thinking we're maybe halfway through. Maybe not. I don't know. I just want it to be done. Almost. Scrolling. 31. Is that the last one? No, 32. Gosh, it just keeps going. 33. How are you with your Roman numerals? You have to be able to read Roman numerals to see. 34. That looks like the last one. 34. 34. So we're at 22. So, when 44 would have been double, would be half. So we're more than halfway. That's what I thought. Are we going to get through it? Are we going to stay? Are you staying with me till we get it done? Okay. In the meantime, I'm going to hop over and do my bedtime stories for my granddaughter and for people that are learning English, because it's simpler English. It's much less complicated than this. And it's good to start on those basics. And I also want to support beginning readers, because if you get these skills early, they'll stay with you for life. And one thing I told one of my students that I tutor, because I do tutor privately, and if you're interested in that, I should be going full time somewhere in 2026. So start reaching out to me, because my time lots are getting full. I can work time zones out anywhere in the world. The big thing I have to figure out is you have to have a credit card that can work on American systems, and I charge in American dollars. So if you want some individual tutoring help, let me know. Reach out to me on Instagram. You can direct message me at Best Tutor Friend, and we'll set something up. In the meantime, I was saying to my student who is in 9th grade, and he's very, very bright. And I've said this to all my students. They rarely believe me. The best thing you can do to improve for SAT and ACT, those standardized tests, is to read 20 minutes every day. It just helps you build syntax. It helps you understand vocabulary and context. It helps you with skimming and scanning and fluency. And all those things are going to serve you well on the test, because there's so much reading on the SAT. And you begin to get a sense of like, you may not understand the grammar rule, but you begin to know what's right and what's wrong, because you've seen it modeled to you in all the reading you're doing. So find a genre of literature you like, open up a book, and every day, whether it's morning or evening, spend 20 minutes, and you can use this channel to do it. If you get I would encourage you to have the text in front of you while you read too. We're all the way up to 80 subscribers. I've gotten more comments recently, which means the world to me. So if you want to tell me how this has helped you with your schoolwork, let me know. I love hearing from you. I'm Best Tutor Friend 2 on YouTube. Subscribe, ring the bell, make a comment, because that helps other people know this is helpful, or just enjoy your life. Thank you for being here. I will read to you in just a few minutes next time. See ya.